So let's talk about sales and marketing in this new online era. The one thing I tell every client of mine, and we'll talk about now real fast, is when you're thinking about online marketing, don't make it too confusing. If you use a computer, if you use Google, if you search for products and services, if you want to check out my reputation, if you want to check out any reputation, what do? You search online. And your website is absolutely the foundation for everything you do today. And to kind of build some credibility in driving traffic and how active websites are, these are a couple examples of businesses that we rebuilt and built their websites last year. The first one was from scratch. It didn't launch until February. It was a business that was doing about $7 million a year. It was in the general contracting business, but we had to rebuild their brand, and they were in a niche in the general contracting business, and we drove literally 2 million minutes of website traffic over the year. It's over 33,500 hours on this small business website. That's 3 years and 10 months of site traffic. Their visitors viewed over 23,000 pages. So the online, in conjunction with they were doing marketing and sales-wise, drove a lot of traffic to their website, and their business has grown dramatically, and their brand has changed. We had another client which is more similar to your industry, had 791,000 minutes, 13,000 hours, and I think they had 12 or 13,000 page views. So it's very important to make sure that you build a strategy and then processes and execute your plan. The one thing I hear from every client that I've ever worked with in the marketing arena is, what's happening with our sales? And I will tell you, please do not confuse marketing online, do not confuse marketing offline with sales. At the end of the day, salespeople sell products. And the basic of business-to-business sales process have always been the same. You have to make the calls. You have to make the calls. You need to track your progress. If you're a sales manager, if you're the owner of your company, depending on what size you are, you need to track the calls and the progress through the sales funnel. But the exciting thing today is marketing's changed so much that you have so many options in how you can communicate with your prospects and track communications with your clients, prospects, your vendors, and potential employees. And you're being judged every day by people that you may want to hire by your online presence. No matter how much marketing changes, though, you still need to make the new business calls, and you need to track them. This is some research. You'll get a copy of this presentation, send me an email, sign up for the newsletter, whatever you need to do, or write down this email address. But on the PowerPoint, you can see at the bottom of these slides, this is from 2012 and another 2012 surveys. 78% of business-to-business buyers start their research with search online, or they go direct, and 78% go directly to a vendor's websites. I think that's much higher now. I think it's probably changed. It's probably up in the 85% level. So when people are buying something of a value of $10,000 or more, 70% of the buyers view 4 or more pieces of content. And what might that be? It may be how-to articles, it may be pictures, it may be video, it may be just general information about your company. So how do you build your online brand? It all starts with your website. The most important part we all use is to realize that we all use the web the same way. Your online brand needs to make you look legitimate. It needs to give you a great visual representation of what you do. It needs to contain relevant content that's going to help and educate your customer. It needs to be easy to navigate. It needs to have a call to action. What do you want me to do when I get to the site? It needs to make you credible, and today it needs to be what they call a responsive design, which means mobilely available to be shown on mobile sites. iPads, iPhones, Android phones, we're moving today in an arena where, we're looking at sites. I use 4 different devices to look at things online. So it's very important that your site is is up to date and is able to show on mobile, and it's something that needs to be looked at. So the sales process today. It used to be a time when we didn't have online, when we would just go and make a sales presentation and tell somebody about our product, and they may call a referral, and you would call them back and you'd go see them again. Today it's different. Today, when people go through their awareness and their evaluation and their decision-making process, a lot of this is happening without you. So in the beginning, in the awareness section, I added these arrows and these bullets down below this chart that came from this inbound sales blog. So priority shift because of a problem with a current vendor or a competitor calls and starts to penetrate the account. So your sales rep calls, starts to penetrate a water treatment account that you want to pick up. The account starts to shift their priority and think, well, maybe I do need to do something different. Or somebody calls your account because there's been a problem with it, and they start to shift gears and think they need to do something differently about it, and they start to shift and do their research. Well, what do they do today? Today they go online. They research and evaluate their options, and they're all done via web. And the decision-making process and the evaluation of that is done through social media, word of mouth, your website, and recommendations. So it is critical that your web really represents who you are and what you do, because if you think about your own buying patterns, if you're going to make a long-term commitment, which is what you guys do, is you have long-term contracts with your clients, you're going to need to make sure that you're swaying people's decisions through this middle section where it says now here, and you're supplying content and options and information for people to research on their own. And as you see with the arrow down here, B2B buyers, business-to-business buyers rely on online resources versus salespeople for information today. And that's just what it is. So, you know, you really need to solidify your presence online. So, any questions on any of that? I kind of go through it fast, but I think it's important that we talk about the foundation of what your business is about. And you have a long-term sales cycle. So the follow-up information that we're going to talk about and keeping track of people's information and how people are researching whether they should or shouldn't do business with you is important, that we went through that. Any questions? Cindy, you can tell people we are a new client. Hey, Cindy. Cindy Mitchell's on the phone. It looks like we're going to try to figure out how to get something going with them shortly. So I'm really excited about that. And I met Cindy out at the convention in Palm Springs, and excited about figuring out how to help you guys move forward.